One of the most important things about using a centrifuge is that it always needs to be balanced. And now there's many different ways to balance it, but you need to do all of the ways together to ensure that the centrifuge is stable while it's spinning. Now, we have two different test tubes here, and as you can tell, they are filled to different levels with the liquid. Now, if I were to place these in the centrifuge and turn it on, the centrifuge would start vibrating very strongly because the centrifuge isn't balanced and it doesn't have any way to dampen the vibrations. So now you can see that these two test tubes have an even amount of liquid. Now, it isn't quite even, but it's enough to not make a significant difference in the centrifuge. So now the second thing to keep in mind when balancing a centrifuge is making sure that all of the test tubes are in exactly opposite spots from one another. Now, if you had, right now we have two test tubes, but if you had four, you would need to make sure that, again, all four are exactly opposite from one another, and the opposite ones are filled to about the same level. So a lot of times when centrifuging, you only have one test tube that needs to be centrifuged at a time. Now to solve this, you fill an opposite test tube with water, just to balance it out. You want to make sure that they're as close in weight as possible without going overboard in your measurements. Alright, so once you have the centrifuge balance, now you're going to close the lid, secure it, you should hear a click. So now you're either going to turn a dial to a time setting or just turn the switch to the on position. Alright,
So turn it off.
so notice how when we turned on the centrifuge, you could hear how smooth it was to start up. There wasn't any clunking or vibration that you could easily hear. So that means that we were successful in balancing our centrifuge. So we're going to open the lid. Here we can see our centrifuged liquid.